Hello, Sheila.
Hello, Anurag. How are you?
I'm good. We are before time.
Wonderful. So I get to see your handsome face before that.
Yes, we are before time. Everyone's joining us. So we'll just wait for a little while to see all our friends. We'll wait for them to join us.
Okay.
How are you doing? You look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to me coming from a young man like you.
It's true.
I'm doing well.
You are doing what?
I'm doing well.
You're doing well. Excellent. I was actually nervous because I've been with you so many times. I've talked to you. I've asked so many questions to you, but probably this is the first time that I'm publicly asking you questions. And all I can think of is um, those interviews of the early 80s and 90s that you gave. And I see that Sheila in front of me, and I'm scared.
You're running a risk.
I am. I was telling Jamal, who's the editor of HT Brunch, that I am really nervous. He said, I'm very excited. I said, well, you are excited, but I'm very nervous about this. So I have prepared questions to ask you, which I will ask you in a little while. But
Okay.
tell me, how are you doing in Switzerland in this pandemic? And you have so many other people there. How is everyone?
Everyone is well, doing excellent. We have certain government's regulation that we follow. For example, we are not to invite any visitors inside the house in lockdown time.
Okay.
So not an issue for me or problem for me. And we take care of our patients according to their needs as always, and still see to it that group remains integrated yet with social distancing.
Yeah, because I was thinking, as it is you and your beautiful community that you've created, you are anyway away from the city and you're isolated on a small hill. That's what you told me.
Right, and that is my good luck that I live like this, that I had never thought of Corona when I organized this house.
Like they said, I read a message this morning that your lockdown is my normal.
Right,
So that is the case with you. So Sheila,
right.
I'll start with my first question. Uh, I call you Sheila, I call you Sheely, I have so many names. But there was a name given to you long back in the 80s by Bhagwan, by Osho, by Rajneesh, and that was Ma Anand Sheela. So there, what does Anand mean to you? What does happiness mean to you?
Being in love,
And you were, and you are.
right.
Will you please elaborate a bit about what you just said?
Being in love, that passion of love, that was the prominence of my young age. Sometimes people make comments saying that you were beautiful. No, I was not beautiful. It was the passion of love that I felt was beautiful. And that passion that uh, that shined through me.
That is one reason why I connect with you, because you gave everything at an age when you were young. People do a lot of things when they grow up, when they grow old, but at that point of time when you're so young, I believe you were 21 when you joined him officially. um, I think that is amazing to have that kind of clarity in your mind that you want to do something willingly with in your senses at that young age. So that is commendable, and that is one reason that I think a lot of young people, they connect with you and they follow you. That is one big reason.
Well, uh, I was connected to myself through my love, through my passion. I to my heart, and that was my blessing.
You also wrote a book, Sheila, as this is the first curtain raiser for a virtual literary festival. I never thought that we will be doing a literary festival like this online, and you are the first speaker. I also invited you and I requested HT, and it was their idea to have you amongst us because you've also written books. And one of your very famous books is Don't Kill Him, which is
Right.
about Osho that you wrote, which is also can be seen as an autobiography that you wrote. Would you tell the people about the book? What is the book all about?
That book, Don't Kill Him, is a book of my journey with Bhagwan, from how I felt when I first met him at the age of 16 and thereafter, how I worked for him, how I became his secretary, and how I built city together collectively with his people. And in the end, I live also. So it is a journey, my journey with Bhagwan, and few short incidences of life that I remember of my youth and my young age before Bhagwan.
You
After,
met him. You met
yeah,
him very early in life. You met him at 16.
right.
Was it then? I mean, you just fell in love when you were 16.
I must tell, but I didn't know what it was that I felt. I was able to decipher that feeling when I met him second time when I was 21. And
I
then
got so excited.
it's crystal clear what I felt.
That's what I really appreciate, and I really think that you had clarity about everything that you did, which is something not very usual in the young generation today. Um, I got so excited that I directly started with the conversation without even introducing you formally. I'm sure there are a lot of people who know you about you already, but there are many who might not know about you. So let me tell them, as you said, you built a city. Sheila is the one who, for me, she's the one who made Osho. That's how I think. She was Osho's secretary. She built an entire city in the state of Oregon in USA. And there was about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there was a beautiful series which was called Wild Wild Country on Netflix. And Sheila was, you can say, as you say, the sutradhar of the entire documentary. She was narrating her experiences, and it turned out to be one of the best series ever made. So that is a little bit about Sheila. Sheila has written a lot more. You can all read her book and get to know about her. Uh, about her. So Sheila, um, so Bhagwan has been a very, very, very important and integral part of your life. But there was a time when you left him. Uh, is it that even today, do you have to think about him, or his memories just come as a flashback, or do you remember him every day? How does it work? What is the scenario? Can you please tell me?
He's part and parcel of my life. And it is not that I have to think of it. I breathe him in and breathe out. Nor am I addicted to him. His presence is woven in my being, and his teachings are very much part of my everyday life.
That's beautiful. You how much time did you spend with him?
I spent 14 years with him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
14 years you dedicated to him. And I don't think you left him in those 14 years, even for a while, because that's what I saw in in the series, that till the time you were there with him, he was protected. He was as if you were his shield.
I was. And the world knows it too. If the world doesn't want to accept it, it's okay. But that was the reality. And you have seen how his deterioration has happened after I have left.
Yes,
His misfortune. And
we all.
yeah, but as long as I live, I know he's living in me.
That's a beautiful thing that you said. Sheila, you built an entire city. I mean, I think of it, I don't call it a city, because when you see that video where they show you the place that you bought and how you built that, it was not a city, it was a world. It was a world of its own. It was so well planned. Whatever we saw, it was done so beautifully. So you just created all of it in how much time?
4 years, 4.5 years. And it was not me who created it. It was our love for man collectively. We had created it. I had the honor and the burden of responsibility. I
Right.
had the full trust of Bhagwan with me. And
What
only
is
because of it, it was possible for me to undertake a mad venture like that. And such
that's
madness only comes out of love.
absolutely true, Sheila. Uh, do you have any memory of that beautiful place that you created? What is the most beautiful memory that you have from there? I'm sure you have a lot of beautiful ones, but the most beautiful one.
Most beautiful memory that I have when I first time brought Bhagwan to the ranch, when he arrived at the ranch, and I could say to Bhagwan, we have a home. And to see the smile on his face and putting his hand on my head with all his grace, it was a moment of life, very precious moment of life.
Beautiful. There is a message from Jamal, who is the editor of HT Brunch, and he says, Sheila undoubtedly love Osho. How can such love also not also be romantic and expressed physically as well?
Romantic it was, and physical had no value for me.
Correct.
I was in his physical presence every day. His presence was empowering. It is like sun of his life for us. We are raised by sunshine every day for 12 hours. We don't need to get involved physically with sun. It's not necessary. And it wasn't even the issue. And that is the beauty of the love that I felt. It was like Meera doesn't have to have presence of Krishna. She saw and found her love in a small statue of Krishna. And I was more lucky than Meera. I had 14 years of that man around me.
True.
What more do I want?
That's beautiful, Sheila, the way you expressed it and explained it. I also want to ask you that we all tend to change over the time. We all change as we grow. So, is there any difference that you see in yourself? Uh, Sheila when she was 21 and Sheila when she's 71. What is the difference that you see in yourself over these years? And which Sheila would you love? The one who is young, 21-year-old, or the one who's 71-year-old?
Both.
Sheila then and Sheila now.
Both. 71
Okay,
years Sheila cannot be 71 without 21-year-old Sheila.
correct.
And without being 71, I could not have understood Bhagwan the way I understand him now and the way I feel now. So it was a complete packaging. And that was the beauty of it.
And what is the difference that you see in yourself over these years?
There was an extreme passion, the fire of passion I have seen, felt, and now the cool rays of moon, but still the same passion is there, but cool. And it is wonderful to be cool.
Sheila, you were telling me that you were madly in love with him. And in his love, you did so much. You did so much that you didn't see anything. You just created what he wished. You just gave him what he wanted. What was that made you fall in love with him? What was the quality that that was? I mean, what all qualities? Because I don't know a bit about it. I was not even born when he was dead. So only you can tell me and so many other people as to how and what did you see in him.
I saw my whole world in him. And I cannot say this thing was the reason I fell in love or because of this. I looked into his eyes and it was wonderful to drown myself in it. I cannot give you one point or not. One perspective doesn't exist.
Correct. We have another very good message from Apurva. He asks, do you think Osho's biggest failing was becoming Bhagwan? Did he buckle under the weight of his own image?
No. For Bhagwan, it was not, you can call him Bhagwan, you can call him hey you. It would work. But where, as I see the failure, he had given some wrong people, he had kept some wrong people around him who were experimenting with drugs with him. And that's where the failure was. He had just wrong people around him. That is my opinion. That's how I feel. How others feel doesn't bother me or disturb me. And it doesn't matter what was the failure, but what he has left, the treasure of wisdom for us. That is more important for me.
Sheila, what I really respect you for is that you have never shied away from giving answers, and answers of every question that is being asked. Uh, I personally believe that if someone repeatedly asked me one question, I would just say, no, I'm done with it. You cannot ask me this question again and again and again. I've given an answer once, I'll not give it again. But you have been giving an answer for almost 35, 40 years now. And people have been asking you the same question for years and years and years. And Jamal just read, how do you feel when these questions about relationships, about the crimes, about different things, it comes to you? How does it make you feel?
Sometimes I think, why do people don't see beyond? Why are we so shallow? So that makes me a bit sad that we live in intelligent communities, but people come down to the basics of nothing, basics of nothing. And then I answer to people and I try to play with my own self. When I feel a person who is asking me a question, I try to find new words to say the same story over and over again. So it's a game I play with myself and make it more entertaining for me.
Yes, and since you talk about beyond, let's talk about the beautiful initiative that you took many, many years ago. And you started this beautiful home to provide care and dignity to so many people who cannot take care of themselves. Why did this idea come to your mind, Sheila? Why did you want to do this?
I was out of prison. I had to get started somewhere. I was missing my parents immensely because they were in India and I was in Switzerland, and I could not travel during that time because of my legal situation. And then I would take a walk through the city. I would see old people and I would see my parents in them. And just then it happened, I came across a newspaper cutting where it was possible to take few seniors or handicapped people in your own home and take care of them. I got lucky, but it was a wonderful idea. Then immediately I rented me a house, and I took first being patient in it. And that's how it began. I had no idea of how to care for old people, except I knew how to take care of community, a big community of young people, But as I went along, I taught myself. So it was very rewarding for me to do that work. It also kept my brains active and it kept my body active.
So, I mean, if we see, really, you've never lived alone. You always liked living with communities, with more people. You've never lived alone.
No.
I remember of an instance from the series where uh, you came, when you left the ashram, you came to Germany. I think you were a Swiss citizen even then. And according to the Swiss law, you would have been safe in Switzerland. Why did you not go to Switzerland at that point of time and be in a safer situation than being in Germany where you know you could be picked at any point of time?
Well, I was being asked by daily journalists who were visiting me that, that go back to Switzerland and you are safe, you won't be extradited. I said, why should I go back? What do I have to be afraid of? If I have done something wrong, I will go back. But I have done nothing wrong. I was stupid, I was naive, but that was my reality then.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you as to how do you feel about, the 3.5 years, I believe, that you spent in the jail, and what were the learnings from there? What all did you learn from those places? Being in a place where you have nothing but the walls, the dark walls.
Most important thing I learned, the value of time. We all talk about time, time, time. We have time here, we don't have time there. And we are occupied, we get stressed because of time. And suddenly you come in a prison, you have only time, and you count your every minute and every second, every day of time.
How were you
You
treated in the
talk
jail?
to one another how much time you are doing. So value of time that made me humble. I had time for everybody then. Sometimes people use time to snub people or to show their disrespect. And I could not do that. People use time, you give somebody a time and let them wait for hour, 2 hours. So you look important. No, I don't do that. So it was a big lesson. It was a worth lesson. And then I learned patience. To wait out 39 months in confinement, you require immense patience. And this patience, I use it for my patient in combination of time. And then Buddha's statement of this too shall pass. To be aware of this too shall pass kept me alive.
That's great. I wanted to know, Sheila, from you that um, the criminal charges on you were a lot of them. There were a lot of criminal charges, but why just 39 months? Why just 39 months and you came out of the jail? What was that I mean, a lot of people say that Sheila has had a contract with the American government. There are so many rumors, but would you tell us that why did they leave you in 39 months?
They had only hearsay evidence. But they had a political agenda to destroy Sheila and Bhagwan. Then there is a legal possibility of plea bargain. So you don't go to the trial, and I could not go to trial because I was the sinner in public eye. There was press and media had turned me into a sinner. So there was no possibility of trial. Nobody would give honest verdict on me. So only possibility was plea bargain. And through plea bargain, government saves the money from going through trial. I had no money, so government would have to pay my trial lawyers also. And it was a bargain, and I agreed 4.5 years of imprisonment, not 20 years for every count what the media writes about it. Never a question. Not only that, Swiss government felt that the charges that were given with the type of evidence, I have served too much prison time.
Okay.
So it was a plea bargain of 4.5 years. And when you take the good time and the calculation that the government makes, it was 39 months.
Okay. That's great, Sheila. Did you ever try drugs? Because we have a message here saying that Sheila was accused of hard drugs, of
Wow.
being on hard drugs.
Wow. I have seen some druggists. They don't look like Sheila. So here's your proof.
No, but have you ever tried drugs?
Never.
Never.
Never. Not even marijuana. Highest I have tried is one evening in a social situation. I had smoked a cigar and I felt like horror. Next morning, I couldn't scrape my tongue long enough that it would come out, the smoke.
You couldn't take it.
Right.
Okay, so that's not true. That Sheila
It
was
wasn't a
not.
cigar. I had taken few puffs of the cigar.
That's all right. If you want to try next time, you let me know.
No, thank you.
Okay, so there are many questions that are coming on the live. For you, someone asks, CEO Ruhi, you've met Ruhi before. She says, Ma Sheila, how do you get so much courage?
I think courage comes from my own inner being. I'm not afraid to say what I feel, and I'm not afraid to do what I feel needs to be done. So when you are clear about your feelings, courage is right behind it. And I have no situation, for example, in relationships or something, I don't want to gain something of somebody. So I don't have to bargain for it or correct myself for it.
Now, being there at the ashram for not at the ashram, but with Osho for 14 years, I really find it difficult to believe that you've never meditated or you don't believe in spirituality. So why is that, and how? I mean, how did you not try meditation at all? I mean, I'm sure that someone believes in it, someone does not believe in it, but how did you never try? Because I thought that being there for so many years with a man who talks about spirituality and meditation, how did you not try it?
It's simple. Be in love and you will find out.
So you were so obsessed with him that you didn't want to do meditation.
No, he never was upset. He said, you don't need to do, you just work. Still working. When I first went to meditation camp, that was named not Ma Anand Sheela, Anand Sheela camp it was named, right?
Okay.
And Bhagwan would sit among us and people would be meditating. Now, if Bhagwan is sitting, why would I close my eyes? That's a bad deal, you know?
I understand.
I want to drink him, you know? I want to jump into his beautiful eyes. So I used to close my eyes and I kept looking at him, and that was enough for me.
So you don't believe in meditation.
No.
And what would you like to tell those who do believe in it?
Well, they have to find out for themselves what is their cup of tea. I cannot make their cup of tea. They have to make it themselves. And be true to it.
Okay. Fair enough. There are many, many, many questions coming. We'll take one more before I ask my next question. Ma Sheela, what message would you like to give to people who are fragile in relationship these days?
Get away from the relationship. Be independent.
You make it sound so simple.
It is. It is simple. When relationships cause problem, and you are in a relationship with a man like Bhagwan, you have to take the courage and walk away. You have to do the same. I'm not saying that breaking a relationship is the answer for everyone, but don't be afraid of it. Be true to yourself. Don't make the relationship weaken you. And if relationship is based on not being yourself, then you're making a bad deal. It is a bad trade. You be yourself, allow the other to be themselves. You respect yourself and respect the others.
Right.
Honor each other. And relationship won't be fragile.
Mr. Editor is asking all the questions that I want to ask, and he's written another one that I wanted to ask, but he's already written it. So the question is, at your talk in India, Sheila, you gave the host Karan Johar a box of Swiss chocolates and told him they taste great after good sex. How do you know for sure?
Well, it tasted wonderful to me. And I can't talk about that it will taste as good as it tasted me for everyone. You have to find out. You have to find out.
Okay. So next time you come to India, you get lots of Swiss chocolates.
Yeah, no problem. I'll
I
get
tried
them.
I
You
tried
will
having
have
them, but I
some.
had no sex. So it tasted good to me. It tasted fine to me.
Right.
Yes. Okay, now we're going to take some more questions. Let's see, there are lots of people who've been asking questions. So let's ask the questions that people have been asking. Someone asks, this is Makeup Monk, she asks if you ever felt that you have been used for Bhagwan's benefits.
No. I don't give that power to anybody. When I went to Bhagwan, I went from myself with my own decision. When I left Bhagwan, I left him on my own decision. No, I never felt used.
A lot of people say that you ran away from the ashram, but very little people who've read your book, they know the reality where they see the letter that you wrote 3 days prior leaving. Would you like to tell something about that as well?
I had a conflict in me. I felt my love, that was my strength, was being taken as my weakness.
Hmm.
Bhagwan felt I would never leave him, the love I felt for him. And I could not resolve the conflict of the work Bhagwan had assigned to me and what I was experiencing around him, what was happening with drug use. I could not compromise that. So then, after long fighting with myself, I decided to walk away, and I wrote Bhagwan a letter because this whole thing had affected me. I had a severe bronchitis at that time, and I would not go visit Bhagwan with my bronchitis to infect him. And I wrote him a letter, and his answer was, "You need not go away. You go for a while to Europe and raise money for me." But that was not what I wanted to do either.
Okay.
And then I left next week.
That's what I say, that you had clarity in your mind about everything that you wanted to do,
Right.
which is great. Uh, Sheila, there's one more question that has been asked, that Osho did not approve of homosexuality. What do you think about it? What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, Bhagwan did approve of homosexuality when the theme of HIV AIDS situation came up. And they're very close communities, communes, very close, live woven among ourselves, plus Bhagwan's ideology of sexual freedom. Bhagwan said, now is not time for careless homosexuality. One should take precautions. And I remember I went through whole world promoting condoms and latex gloves in our community, explaining to them how important it is to use condoms and latex gloves for sexual intercourse with men to men, or the even men female, he said, good to have.
So you mean
We even in every house, every bedroom in our Ratneshpuram and our communes in Europe and Australia, every bedroom had a box of condoms and gloves there, so people could have safe sex. But after I left, I don't know the policy, if has changed, then I don't know.
correct? So it was the situation of HIV, and he did. You mean that he did approve of it, but it was because of HIV that he asked them to take measures to
Good.
be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm looking for another question.
Okay.
Osho was fairly sharp in his criticism about you after you left. Some would say he never spoke as harshly about anyone as he did about you. How did it feel?
I feel wonderful because that shows his love for me.
Why do you say that?
It's very simple. He knew without me, who will run this mad machine? And he was sent under my care. Now I walk away. The whole world has seen the results of what happened. From 33 countries, he was thrown out, not allowed to enter. And the way he has died itself is it is vindication of my truth, which was that he was being drugged heavily. He got angry. Who doesn't get angry in relationships? Tell me about it. People think people are ready to kill each other. He only said few nasty words about me. What am I going to do? Am I going to think about it? No. That's his way of dealing with his sorrow. My way was to walk away from him. And every relationship, when they separate, people have nasty things to say.
You know, whenever I talk to you, it seems to me as if everything is so simple. You make it sound so simple, and that is what I love about you.
Well, we are going to be boyfriend girlfriend long time.
Yes, it's been it's been a year
Or, not complete.
almost. We've
Definitely
been dating for a few months, so
yeah,
we can say that we've been dating for a few months. That's
right.
good. Uh, Before I end this session, Sheila, I would like to ask you if you have any favorite book or if there's something that you're reading these days.
I'm not a vivacious reader anymore. My reading is more technical for the work-related situation, but I recommend each and every book of Bhagwan, not from start to the end, somewhere from the middle, and
You did.
you will be helped. Read his wonderful words.
Did that give you inspiration to write the book, or you had the urge to write the book on your own when you wrote your biography?
No, it was my father who was the inspiration to write the book. My father said, Sheila, you have to speak. You have to speak of your experience. There are not many people who have the same experience as you do. And you must write something. It will help coming generation. Young people will be inspired by you. And I'm glad I listened to my father. I didn't want my father to die with this desire that Sheila has to write something. So I wrote it a year, 2 years before he died.
Very beautiful. You also wrote letters which are now in the form of a book to your daughter that you gifted me the last time you came.
Right.
So, what was that about? If you could briefly talk about that as well.
My daughter was getting married. I mean, I don't have materials to offer her as an Indian mother, jewelry or houses to give her as a gift for marriage. And I said, I will write my treasure, and my treasure is what I have learned in my life's experience. It's a roadmap to her. And I wrote in a very simple way these few words to guide her in many different situations. And that was her wedding present.
That was a beautiful present.
Thank you.
Sheila, you have learned a lot of good things from your father. Your father was with Gandhi, and your father was a freedom fighter. Would you tell me just three things very briefly? Because I know your father has given you so much that you cannot even tell and talk about it in few minutes or for few days. So very briefly, if you could tell me three things that you've learned from your father that people can benefit from.
Be yourself. Don't be afraid. Even when you are unsure of yourself, go and take the adventure. Don't fear. Take the courage and trust. Don't trade the trust you have in people. And I trust people very easily.
Well, thank you so much. That was really beautiful. So, I would like to tell you that Hindustan Times has launched a campaign which is called HT Salutes, and it is in honor of all the frontline workers, people who are working at this hour for us, for the patients, for the country, all over the world, in India, everywhere else. Do you have a message for all these people? Would you like to say
Many, many
something?
kisses and many, many hugs for your courage and dedication to humanity.
Thank you. That was great. Also, Sheila, would you like to sing a song before you
How
go?
about if I dance?
Well, that's okay. I mean, this is your boyfriend asking you, not an interviewer. Now I can be a little casual. I need to ask you. You need to entertain me. Do something for me. I'm locked down for last 45 days. I worn my kurta for the first time in 45 days to meet you.
I,
And also, while we have some people here, let me tell everyone that we are hosting. You know, this is the time when everyone is in a very low feeling, and and that this is one reason that I started the virtual literary festival. Today, the curtain raiser, which is by Sheila, is here, and the festival goes on for the next 2 days on my Instagram, which is Anurag Chauhan official, and it is for 2 days where we have writers, authors, singers, musicians, and all kinds of people. And I'd request all of you to come and watch 3 to 8 p.m. and also request all of you to share with your friends that the virtual literary festival is happening. They can come and watch with us. Well, Sheila, now you have to do one of these two things or both the things together. Sing or dance.
how about my laughter is the singing, okay?
Not enough. Not enough. This is not a request. Now I can say this is a demand.
Oh, that hurts. What can I say?
I'm waiting. Just one of the favorite songs. You had so many actors and visitors. I'm sure you must be friends with so many actors, visitors.
No,
They
no,
must be visiting you in those days.
no,
Even now.
no,
You
no.
rub
I was too busy with working, and I don't have any visitors. Only actors that I know is Khanna and Vijay Anand and Mahesh Bhatt.
he's a director, yes. Also, Sheila, I mean, you were a celebrity then, you were a celebrity now. Though I know you'll say, no, no, you are not, but you were, you are. And I'm sure you rub shoulders with so many celebrities or other people. I mean, I'm sure you have some song of their movie or so many people that you meet, no?
I listen to music when I'm working on in my desk. Yeah, on my desk, or when I was writing, then I listen to music. But I go at random on YouTube and listen to it. But
Okay, which one is your favorite song? Maybe we can ask Red FM to play your favorite Hindi song.
oh boy, uh, uh, Safkat uh, Ali. Safkat, is that the name? Safkat Amanat, Pakistani
Yes,
that I like very much. I like Abida very much.
I love Abida Parveen. I worship her.
Yeah, I like Richa. I also enjoy very much seeing the young children from Saregama, listening to them, because it brightens me up to these talented young Indians singing so beautifully. It warms my heart, but don't ask me which song or how. You have lost me there. But if you want me to lay somewhere bricks or something, I will do that.
No,
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 that I
no, no.
know how to do.
I won't. I won't ask you to do that.
I can build the walls, or I can put the tiles on the floor. These things, no problem.
The song you cannot.
No, I can do garba spontaneously, but I
Of
can
course, which
sing.
right. So Jamal says, "Why don't I sing a song for you?" And Ruhi says,
Oh,
"Why don't I sing a
okay,
song for you?"
wonderful. You have done that many times.
Well,
Do it again.
yes, but let me tell them that this is not a private chat. I am not a singer. This is just there is only 2 minutes remaining, so let me sing that song and finish this.
Okay.
Well, Sheila, we've not really had any date like this. This is our first virtual date and your first, uh, live. So I'll only sing आज जाने की जिद ना करो आज जाने की जिद ना करो यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो आज जाने की जिद ना करो आज जाने की जिद ना करो but you'll have to go. You're not doing any zid, but you'll have to go. And thank you so much, Sheila, for doing this. I thank HT Brunch, and I remind everyone to please join the virtual literary festival tomorrow and day after, 3 to 5 p.m. On my Instagram, we have a lot of speakers. Please come ahead. Thank you so much, Sheila, for being here, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Anurag. And remain my boyfriend forever.
I will be.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.